Welcome back to Two Bros. I wanted to say Nerd Out, but I'm not over there right now. What do we got today, John?
We've got some 2024 Star Trek Edition Series 5 Hit Parade.
That's pretty awesome. So let's get started. Let's see what we got. Our friend Kenneth has gotten a whole case. But I guess you probably prefer Ken, now that I think about it.
What's up, Munoz? How you doing?
Considering I've been calling you Ken the whole time. Then I'm like, oh, now that I'm recording Kenneth. All right, so
We got a full case.
we got a
here.
full case.
Let's go.
Do you mind taking that? And let's see. Let's start with number 5 out of 100.
I'm excited to see what's in
I'm
these.
excited to
I bet
see
we
what's
can
in
get some pretty cool stuff in here.
I've only opened a few, and the few that I've opened have been really cool.
Okay.
So, like, it's like, oh, sweet. Let's see what we get out of a whole case.
Like, I'm assuming there's autos of, like, all the big names in Star Trek in here.
Yeah, there's like auto checklists. There's a lot of different things. Like you can get like pieces of uniforms and stuff. Do you want the boxes or no? No. Okay. Let's see. First, we have a pack of Star Trek Voyager cards. We will send these to you. These are from, I want to say, well, it's definitely the 90s.
It's like late 90s.
Late
right?
90s, I would say.
What you got there?
Some Star
That's
Trek
some
Voyager
Star Trek.
cards.
Oh, wow.
Don't know what fun's in there, but you'll have fun ripping that.
Don't know what fun's in there, but you.
All right, Dr. Leroy McCoy from Star Trek Wrath of Khan. So you have, yeah, it's a part of his uniform.
Oh, that's cool.
From Wrath of Khan. Like, that is awesome.
That's awesome.
That's arguably one of the better Star Trek movies. If not one of, like, depending on who you talk to, like, this is probably one of the better ones or the best.
I feel like that's the one that everybody knows.
Yeah, it's the one that everybody knows. This is out of, I want to say 1701. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That's the number on the ship.
Oh, okay.
Like 1701 is like the.
Michael, are you a Black Mirror guy?
I have not seen Black Mirror actually.
There's a really
So
cool,
this is cool.
Episode of Black Mirror that's kind of like a play off of Star Trek. USS Callister.
Ah, okay. All right, we have Morgan Jones. I want to say.
Yep.
Yeah, Morgan Jones. As Colonel Nysev in Assignment Earth. You seem to. All right, that's cool. So this is from the original series. Got an autograph.
Cool.
It's one of the ones where they end up going back in time and messing with stuff. What's this? From the archives. This is from Enterprise.
Cool.
So-
Looks like it's like a piece of scale in there.
It's like a
That's
piece
cool.
of scale, like Commander. Like I'm thinking like this is part of his. Yeah, it's costume material. So it looks like it's actually part of his face, because of, like the scale and like the scales on his face. This I don't know. I didn't see all of Enterprise, but I did like what I did see. So that's fun. That's cool. So you got two memorabilia.
That's cool. I
kinda
like the
things.
type of mem like this.
Yeah, I like the type of mem
I know.
that you get. Let's see.
Not what you see every day.
It's in a one touch. All right, this is from original series. This is looks like Michael Dante, I believe. Yeah,
Yep.
Michael Dante as Mob, M-A-A-B.
Mab?
Mab.
Mab? What do you think, chat? Mab or
Mab
Mob?
or Mob?
You decide.
You decide, because I don't remember this episode. But yeah, it's from the original series. You've seen the original series. Do you remember this?
I do, honestly.
Because I'm like drawing a blank
I
on
mean,
it.
I watched the original series when I was like 13 years old. It
I'm
was
gonna-
a very long time.
I'm sure I'm going to remember on, and he has a very nice signature. So-
That's the first thing that stuck out to me. That's a beautiful auto.
I'm probably going to remember the episode on the drive home and be like, oh, because that's just how it goes.
Yeah,
Because
look
some
at
people
that.
have
That's beautiful.
horrible signatures. That one's very legible.
Much nicer than Anthony Richardson auto.
Right. All right, that's the case
Ooh.
hit.
What do we got?
We're gonna sweat this a little
Oh,
bit.
we're sweating it a bit. We gotta
I
play
feel,
up
I
the
feel,
suspense.
I feel like we got to play up the suspense a bit,
I agree.
because I was not expecting to pull that already. Yeah, you don't need a magnifying glass to read. Is like, what is this? Who is this?
Like there's a lot of like football,
Oh yeah, like
basketball players just a scribble.
it's a scribble, or like it's just like there's some of them where it's almost just like they just drew a circle, where it's just like.
This is an auto. This is my name if you look at it the right way.
I'm like, that's not a name,
All autographs are up to interpretation.
right? Star Trek Next Generation, Season 4, 1990 to 91. So, yeah, this is from 96. That's what it says on the back. So that's fun. So you have some fun ripping this. Speaking of Voyager, here is 7 of 9, part of her costume. From, does it say what episode? Yeah, it does. The Unimatrix Zero
that's cool. It tells you what episode
Tells you what
it's
episode. Because I'm like, that's not her normal
That's really
outfit.
cool.
That's really cool. Material worn by 7 of 9. That's
That's cool.
awesome. So like that, like this kind of stuff is really cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's not like this piece of memorabilia was not used in any specific game or
Right.
event. That's cool.
All right. Comes with an authentic piece of Deep Space Nine. Oh, there's the famous. He's the Grand Magus, but I forget the name of the character of the guy who actually plays him. He's actually like a famous actor, and they got him to do this. He's like, yeah, because it'd be fun.
That's awesome.
Oh, I can't remember his name.
love that.
He's in the Princess Bride.
Oh, okay.
The Inconceivable.
Oh, he's that guy?
Yeah, he's that guy.
Okay.
Right. Inconceivable. I don't think you're using
That's
that word
awesome.
right.
I didn't
He's
know
like-
that.
Yeah, he's like, oh my God, what's that? And just switches the glasses. Like, yeah, that's him. Because he played
That's
the
cool.
Grand Magus. Because I remember hearing his voice, I'm like, I know this guy. And I had to look it up. I'm like, yeah, it's him. So that's really fun.
That's a cool piece of mem on that, too.
Oh, sweet. Josh Clark from Voyager. Lieutenant Joe Carey. That's fun. You're getting a lot. You're getting a lot of nice. Like,
autos.
they have some nice autographs here. Yeah, Wallace Shawn. And from the original series, we have now we're not getting the great autographs. Nothing against him. I'm just saying because like
No,
all
just like, I'm gonna put
the
something
really
on there.
fancy ones where he's like, oh okay. It was Craig Hewley as Tommy Strands in The Child, and the Children Led or Shall Lead. Okay. I don't. My recollection of a lot of like maybe half of the original series is fuzzy because it's like so
Yeah.
long ago when I watched that one.
And I feel like a lot of them just blend together.
And I'm like, oh yeah, I know. Then like, oh, the specific character. I'm like, oh, who is this? That's fun. So yeah, you're getting a lot of autographs out of all this, and a lot of extra stuff. Like some of, I've seen some hit parade things or some sports stuff where it's like, oh, you get just one slab thing.
Yeah.
These you tend to get
yeah,
like
you get a couple cards.
you
in
get
there,
you
it's
get some
nice.
cards so that if you want to open them, you get a couple extra cards. Sorry.
Because you didn't say Kobe beforehand.
Ah, yeah. Kobe. I guess it doesn't work for me.
And Mulligan.
Star Trek edition. What? Which series? Is this the original series? I think this is Star Trek, the original series cards for Master Series. Collect all 90. That's fun. All right. It's from 93. So that's 20. Oh no, that's 30 years old now.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's 20 years. It's 30. So now I feel old. Ah, is this, wait, B4. I was like, oh, it's Data, but I'm like, wait, is it his brother? Oh, from Nemesis. Okay, so this is from Star Trek, the movie Nemesis. So it's not Commander Data, but the same actor.
Data adjacent.
Data adjacent. It's either what was his brother's name? Laurel? I don't know. And then there's B4. Yeah, from Nemesis. So yeah, that's cool. It's from the movies. Oh, sweet. Miles O'Brien. This is from Deep Space Nine, the quotable Deep Space Nine from the archives. It's part of his uniform. It's definitely that undershirt part where they changed the outfits. Yeah, costume material. That's cool. He was a really fun character that, like, in the original series, he was, for the most part, just the guy who did, like, the teleportation stuff. And then they made him, he had, like, some stuff where he got married or whatever. But then in Deep Space Nine, they flushed him out as
That's cool.
As a really good, like, engineer and stuff like that. Scott Lawrence from Voyager as Garon in The Void. That's fun. I like that you get so many.
Yeah, there's like a couple of autos.
You get like a couple autos in each box. It
and
seems.
A pack and all that.
And a
too.
pack.
There's
and
another
like,
nice auto.
And another nice auto. Captain Paul Rice from The Next Generation. The Arsenal of Freedom. Yeah, I remember this episode. This is fun. Yeah, every time, like I'd be happy with any one of these boxes, but then you get a whole case and you're just like, oh yeah, yeah. Deep Space Nine was a really good series. Lore. Okay, so that was actually Lore. Okay. Yeah, Lore was his brother's name.
So I've only watched the original series. If you were to recommend me to watch one of the other ones, which one would you say?
That's difficult because, like, some of them are different. Like, Deep Space Nine is really good. And it goes in a different direction than like a lot of the other ones. Like the characters are a little different. You also have some characters from The Next Generation that come over to it.
So it probably would be good to watch Next Generation
Like,
first, so you know those characters.
Yeah, like Worf ends up on Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
So you're like, oh, okay, it's a character I know. And like Miles O'Brien, he ends up on Deep Space Nine. He's originally on the original series, or not the original series, but The Next Generation. But the problem with The Next Generation is the first season is kind of rough. Like the first season and a half, because they had some writing issues, but it's not bad. It's just like those aren't the greatest series. Like that's not the greatest season. Star Trek Next Generation.
The original series animated. That might actually be a great choice for you. I really
That
love
might actually
animation.
work. It's like Scooby-Doo with Star Trek. Okay, I've never actually seen the animated one. I thought it was like, I was afraid that it was going to be like too bad. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like, oh, okay, it's going to be bad.
How recently did that come out? Is that more recent or older?
I feel like that's older. I feel like that was like how they ended up like continuing the original series, because the original series is supposed to be like 5-year mission. They went on for like 2 or 3, and then they canceled it. And then a couple years later, then they did the animated.
Okay, so
it's like
it is
older
a continuation
style
of the series.
It's a continuation.
Okay.
And it was one of those like before. Now it's probably really easy to get access to, but before, like when I watched like Next Generation and stuff, I just had to watch it on TV when it came on. So I didn't really see. Speaking of Worf, Lieutenant Commander Worf. He's on Next Gen as well as
I know
Deep
him.
Space.
He's one of the ones I
and
know.
he's a Klingon. Yeah. And there's a funny episode where without spoiling anything, they go back like in time and go to an original series episode.
That's cool.
With
I love
him. And they're like, and he's there and they're like, well, who's the Klingon? And they're looking for people like Worf. And then they see the Klingon, and he looks very different in the original series because no budget. And then they look at Worf going, what? He goes, we don't like to talk about it. And that's just how they explain it.
Awesome.
It's how they explain it away, that like Klingons have changed how they look.
Oh, so all the Star Trek stuff is on Paramount Plus? That's cool.
They're like, wait, why do the Klingons look? They're like, oh, he was like, he's the Klingon? He looks very similar to humans. And they just look at Worf like, dude, what's going on? He's like, we don't like to talk about it. And it's like, what? Like, that's not an answer. Oh, speaking of original series, from the again, you're getting a lot of like pieces of it was the Tribbles episode, yeah, which is such a crazy episode, and they just end up there in that.
Wait, why does that sound familiar?
It's those little like they look like little fuzzballs, and they just
Yeah.
kept like multiplying and they're
Oh,
just
okay.
taking like filling everything up to the point where they're like the Klingons had like a war against them because they just kept like
The
taking.
war on fuzzballs.
It was like the war on fuzzballs, and it's just like aliens of Enterprise. So this guy's from Enterprise
Must
in
have been
Rogue
some pretty
Planet,
intimidating fuzzballs.
right? I think is this from this is Discovery. Dennis and Discovery. Like I haven't seen Discovery. This is one of the newer ones. It's only been on like Paramount Plus, I believe. And I know I don't think this is a Klingon, but I know they redesigned the Klingons again.
Oh, okay.
And I know that like got some like mixed feelings from the fans.
I'm sure any change people are going to
Oh
complain
yeah, that's
about.
that's why I loved how they were like they up when they did the Next Generation, they updated how the Klingons looked and everything, and
people are like,
and
oh,
then-
I don't like this.
and then in Deep Space Nine they just had like they just accept like, oh, this is just how it is. And in Deep Space Nine they have that episode where they go back to the original series and like they look completely different. They just look at Worf like, dude, what's up? And he's just like, and this whole explanation is just we don't talk about it. It's just like it's just like
He's like, oh, move on.
like yeah, we're just gonna move
forget about
on.
it.
I'm like, oh, okay.
No, thanks for ordering this, Ken.
This
cool.
is fun.
I'm enjoying learning more about Star Trek, and in general, these last few days, I've learned a lot. I've honestly been getting more into Pokemon lately too. Me and Anthony were opening some up the other day.
Oh, that's fun.
I've been playing TCG Live a bit. I've been really enjoying getting back into playing.
Yeah, those help with making them like a lot more accessible. Good thing
There you
Stabby's
go.
not sitting there. You've just been getting pelted with boxes. He's been
That's
here-
all right.
That's okay. He can have a little brain damage. He's fine. Season 2 from 88 to 98 or 89. What's also really cool is like Star Trek is one of those shows where it's like you had people grew up to be engineers as kids, watch Star Trek and then the Next Generation, and they see the stuff that they have and go, why can't we make that? Like, so that's how you get things like they used to have the communicator in the original series that kind of looks like a flip phone.
Oh, that's
And then
cool.
we end up getting like cell phones, and eventually they become little flip phone things, and you're just like, oh, okay.
So Star Trek influenced the future.
There was a on Discovery or the History Channel years ago. It was William Shatner hosted. Goes, "How I Changed the World," and it was just him kind of poking fun at that. Where it's like, oh, these are all the things
Yeah, it's
that came.
actually kind of true. when
And it's
you put
kind
it
of
that way.
true. Where he's like, all the things that came out of Star Trek that ended up becoming real because people got inspired by it. And it was interesting to see like all the different like technologies that people like the CAT scan and
Really?
stuff like that. Where they're like
I
or
didn't
the
even think about
MRI,
that.
where they're
That's
like,
cool.
oh, how can because you have the tricorder, you
Yeah.
can see what's going on inside. Like, how can we do this? Is
Star
there a way
Trek.
we can do it? And then they figured out it's definitely a lot bigger than a handheld thing, but it's
So the next time that you use your phone, you should think Star Trek.
yeah. All right, so this is from just the original series, I believe. Yep. More costume material. All right, Jadzia Dax. Her outfit, she's a cool character. And what's interesting about like her species is like it's like a parasite that gets it's like a worm that gets put into
Okay.
somebody. So like it remembers everything from its past lives. So in Deep Space Nine, Jadzia Dax is the newest Dax, which
But
is
it
the worm.
remembers everything from all the other characters. Okay, that's
And then
cool.
like the commander of the thing, he knew the Dax from before, so he still calls her old man
Oh,
because that's how he remembers him.
That's cool.
So he's like, "Oh, how's it going, old man?" And then they have stories from before and stuff. And we're just like, "What?" So it adds like an interesting perspective.
Like, does it have a different personality each
Yeah,
time?
like it changes a bit, but they're still the same but different.
Okay.
So it's one of those like, "Oh, no problem. Thanks for ordering this." So yeah, it's like I would say next gen and then probably Deep Space Nine, if you had to.
Okay.
Uh, okay, Nemesis. Okay, so I'm like, this guy looks familiar. Ellen Dale. Okay, cool. Again, another nice autograph.
Yeah, there's only really been one auto in here that wasn't nice.
It wasn't like well put together. You know, like you're like, oh yeah, these people actually take time to sign it. From Strange New Worlds. This is another one of the new ones, I believe. The newer shows.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of limited. I haven't seen like the brand new shows that are mostly on streaming. Ironically, even though they're on streaming, I just don't have to, because I have to do so much extra work to go get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm too busy.
Exactly. It's not like you just turn on the TV and it's on.
Yeah.
No, that's what I kind of miss in general. Like, I was really into The Walking Dead when it was on, and I really miss that, you know, it's this new episode every week, and, like, everybody's sitting down at the same time to watch it.
Yep.
I miss that so much.
And then if the whole office is in it, like, then everyone, like,
Yeah,
the next
everyone's-
day talks about
It's like, oh,
it.
you see the episode last night?
Yep.
Now we don't have that. It's just like, oh, the new season came out. Oh, yeah, I watched all of it in 8 hours.
Yep. You knew,
No.
you darn kids in your streaming. You don't know the horrors of hurry up, that's starting. Get here.
Well, I feel like that's the interesting thing about me being the age that I am. I kind of, like, saw the whole, like, progression of it as I grew up.
Right. Yeah, it's like, it's just changed.
Because when I grew up, I remember like us taping all the shows that I wanted to see, and then slowly it was all on demand.
From Enterprise, we have Eric Arviar. He is as Jamin. From the originals. Oh, from Next Gen. All right. Kate Shaw. He was in, or he played as, it's Mark Buckland, who played as Kate Shaw in High Ground. Okay. If I remember this one correctly, they were trying to get them to like move their colony.
Take it.
Yeah.
Oh, we got it.
And just for you.
Just for me.
Just-
For you, we have Lita from the archives.
Just for me.
Yeah, she's from
All right.
Bajoran because of the ridges and the earring.
I see.
So she's from Deep Space Nine. Yep.
Just for me.
Yep, just for you.
Thank you, Michael.
That's why she's here. She's like, oh, Josh Senior.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what happened. Thank you. Thank you.
I believe she works in the
Breaking
bar.
Gods just new.
Yep.
Yeah. Could you
Like,
imagine if there were actual breaking gods? That would
They're
be
just
something.
That'd be
presiding
something.
over our opening, saying, you know, I think we should give them some. good
Like,
cards
no,
today."
and just
The breaking gods.
I'm heading out.
All right, see you.
All right.
Guys good?
take
Yeah,
care.
yeah. This is our last one.
All right, have a good night.
Thanks, Sean.
Maggie O'Hara from Voyager.
4 to go.
Yep.
Now, Josh, do you think that the Breaking Gods are in your favor?
Yeah. Sure. I enjoy every day in here, so I'd say yes. How about you?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in on the breaking gods so far.
Yeah. They're a
So
benevolent.
how many-
they're
how many-
benevolent gods.
How many products are in? Oh, is there a pack? And
Yeah,
then
there's a pack, a couple of like either autographs or material, and then like a bigger slabbed.
Gotcha.
So this is the original series. This is from 1991. 25th anniversary of the original series was in 1991. Yeah, don't do the math to now. You're gonna feel sad. This is from. It's from Star Trek: The Motion Picture. It's part of her costume. This is labeled. Yeah, it's to 15. Oh, I can't see because the ticket's there. But this is number 1078 out
Okay.
of something. Probably 1500.
So, yeah, looks like 1,500.
All right, we got Beverly Crusher in Chain of Command. Yeah, this was the episode where they all went undercover and then it didn't work out so well. So this is from her like ninja outfit. All right, it's from Strange New Worlds. He is a Romulan commander.
Another nice auto.
And, oh, we got another autograph of Michael Dante. So that's cool. This is now he's in Friday's
go.
Child, so he's in a different episode and a different shot of him.
He's got a nice autograph.
He has a really nice autograph. And it's slightly different than the other one, so you can tell that it's not just printed. Like his like everyone's autograph slightly changes from signature to signing to signing.
Unless they're a autograph machine.
Yeah. Eventually you get into a groove, but
Oh yeah. It's always crazy when I see those videos of like the athletes signing and just doing like hundreds and hundreds of jerseys.
Yep. At that point, it just becomes second nature. Star Trek Next Generation Season 2, 8 cards in this pack.
I ever become famous, I need to work on my autograph. My autograph is horrible.
Oh, okay. This is a cool one from the archives. This is it was a episode where they kind of like, even, especially in the 60s, where they were like, because like there's like half their like the left half is black, the white,
Yeah.
but then the other person it was reversed. So then this guy's like, okay, clearly he's evil because it's reversed, and it's like,
Oh, that's cool.
And then they're just like, you're the same. You're the same rate. Like everything else is the same. It's just like this. It's just cosmetic, and the '60s, the civil rights movement,
Yep.
everything like that. And they're just like, yeah, on Earth we got past all this, and you need to work this out. So it was an interesting like way to like bring a current topic onto the show, and like be able to like address it in a way that's not like humans need to get their act together, you know, like
Yeah,
we
no,
need to-
I like
it was
that.
just
Being
like
a bit more subtle in the messaging.
yeah, it was like a subtle messaging, but then also kind of pretty straight. It was pretty
Yeah.
straightforward.
No, I like when shows do that. They have a strong message, but they're not like hitting you over the head
Mm-hmm.
with it.
She's from Star Trek Enterprise, T'Pol. She's Klingon, not Klingon. Oh, what are they? Spock's race. It's why am I drawing a blank?
Oh, what? I'm drawing in.
Because it's not
Vulcan.
Romulan. Vulcan, yes. Part of her
Yeah,
costume.
I know some things.
I'm like, oh, the Vulcan.
I'm sometimes right about things.
Because they thought there was a planet between Mercury and the Sun for a while that they named Vulcan, but then turned out it wasn't there. That's in our real world history, but
Oh, really? I didn't know
yeah,
that.
they thought because it's a long story, but they thought like because of math and stuff, they thought like, oh, there must be another planet there.
See, that's
But
why
then
we're
they
out on
figured out.
math.
But then they figured out the planet was the other direction.
Well, you're in on math.
Can't be out on that.
So like, oh, there's got to be a planet Vulcan.
You can
No, can't be out
just
on it.
just because it rules your life doesn't mean you can't be out on
No,
it.
you can't be in it. You can't be out on it. You can't.
From Star
No,
Trek
but I-
It's
Picard.
not optional.
No, I'm out on
You
it
do
in the
need
fact that I
math.
don't like it.
It's a young
That's
Jean-Luc
different.
Picard. Wow.
Being out on something just means that you don't like it. It doesn't mean that
no,
you.
Being out on it means you can avoid it.
You cannot
I'm
avoid
out on
math.
yeah, right. I'm out on gravy. I don't like it, and I don't want to eat it.
You can get away from
Can't
gravy.
be out on math. It's like Anthony said he's out on death. Well,
Well,
sorry.
guess what?
Yep.
No, I think that being out on something means that you don't like it. It means, oh, I'm out on that. I don't agree with it. But that doesn't necessarily
I think
mean that.
Okay, I respect your opinion. I think you need to be. You don't like it, but you also can avoid it.
Yes.
Star
Like, you
Trek
can't
Next
be out
Generation
on
20.
the sun.
Yeah.
I mean, why
can't
not?
avoid it.
I mean, you can be out on anything and you can say whatever you want.
Well, of course you can. Yes, of course. But truly, you can't be out.
The
on
Waitress. Deep Space Nine. It's Odo and then the Waitress. This is for part of her costume.
And we're out on time as well.
Being out on time is ludicrous.
It's a poll from Enterprise. The women of Star Trek, which are all about Josh Senior.
You know. Doubtful.
Artemis.
Very doubtful.
Michael Welch as Artemis in Insurrection.
Well-known insurrectionist Michael.
Yeah. Viva la
There
Revolution.
you go. It will not
From
be
Strange
televised.
New Worlds. It will not be televised. As Chef Kyle.
Chef Kyle. All right, now we got the case.
Now we got the
Oh,
case.
you got the
hit.
caser.
Old sweater. Let's go. Coin flip coming up next, everybody.
Come on.
Let's see what we got. All right. Star Trek Next Generation Season 2. We got, I don't know what is actually in here is the case it.
Okay.
So
Okay, let's find out
we're going to
together.
find out together because I don't know if it's the big slab at the bottom. I don't know
like
if it's
it.
in the
I
middle.
think you'll know.
We'll probably know when we see it.
I think that is not the case.
I'm gonna guess this is not the case.
Just a wild
Dr.
guess.
Noah, which is it's actually because he's the commander of what's the heck's his name? It starts with an S. Oh, what's the commander of Deep Space Nine? Cisco, yes. But I think this is him as Dr. Noah, but yeah, so that's part of his costume when he was in that role. I'm gonna guess this is not the case hit. From Star Trek Voyager. For Burl. So this is from Star Trek Next Generation. In the Vengeance Factor. So the last thing here has to be the case hit. So where?
Right, we got a one touch.
Got a one touch. It's from Star Trek. Okay. So I don't see any other like emblems or anything there. So I'm thinking original series. Oh, it's the remake,
Oh,
but it's
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris
Wow.
Hemsworth.
That's huge.
That's awesome.
What?
That is
That's
sick.
cool. That is not what I thought it was going to be. It's Thor. It's from the movie. As George Kirk. So as Captain Kirk's father.
Interesting.
In the
Oh, so is it from the 2009 movie?
Yeah, it's the the reboots, like
Yeah.
new timeline.
Super cool.
But you got a Chris Hemsworth,
Yeah.
which
awesome.
that from Star Trek, but then it's just Chris Hemsworth. So Chris Hemsworth. So yeah, he's in it for like 10 minutes, but it's still Chris
Captain
Hemsworth.
Leak John alone.
So that's really
John
cool.
Alone.
This is an autograph that transcends.
I've quickly learned to
yeah,
not
yeah.
trust anything
Yeah.
that Captain puts in
Good.
chat.
Good. Smart man. Smart man.
So yeah, that's really cool. Thanks a lot.
Ken, thanks for the order. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
we
That
really,
was a
really
lot of
appreciate it. It was a
fun.
lot of fun.
That's an awesome case
That's
hit there.
really good
That's sick.
case hit.